Let me also shout out a person that I believe is the mother of the enhanced and expanded child tax credit as well. The top Democrat on the Appropriations Committee, Rosa DeLauro. We're thankful for your leadership, Rosa. Fighting hard on behalf of the American people. Susan DelBene, a great champion of the child tax credit. She had an amendment, Mr. Speaker, to make the child tax credit fully refundable, covering the 17 million children who are being left behind by the big, ugly bill, and increase the child tax credit for families. Because what Republicans are doing, Mr. Speaker, as you know, in this particular bill, not enhancing and expanding the child tax credit, you are undermining the child tax credit. And Representative Susan DelBene, my classmate, along with Catherine Clark and others, the class of 2012. We used to be the new kids on the block, now we're just the OGs. Susan DelBene, she introduces this amendment, and Mr. Speaker, as you know, Republicans voted it down. Representative Laura Gillen had an amendment, dealt with this issue a little bit earlier. The new and permanent cap on state and local tax deduction. Representative Laura Gillen had an amendment to strike the new and permanent cap on SALT, which is something that members of the House Republican Conference, Mr. Speaker, as you know, claimed was a line in the sand for them, specifically from New York, and said that they support. But Republicans voted down that amendment from Representative Laura Gillen. Representative Mary Gay Scanlon from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, one of the great members of the class of 2018, a great class. She had an amendment that would protect infants, babies, American citizens born in this country from the unconstitutional and un-American Trump executive order to end birthright citizenship. Republicans voted that down. Let me make something clear. No matter what it takes. We want to make sure as House Democrats we stand up for the principle that every single child born in the United States of America, pursuant to the 14th Amendment, is an American citizen. We will never let anyone take that away. Not now, not ever. Not now, not ever. Not now, not ever. I think Mary Gay Scanlon, I'm appreciative of my big brother, Congressman Greg Meeks, my big brother in the United States Congress. We're a family as House Democrats committed to working hard, standing up on behalf of the American people. It's an honor of a lifetime to be part of this family. To stand on the shoulders of Nancy Pelosi and Steny Hoyer and Jim Clyburn. It's an honor to be part of this family. On behalf of the American people, Representative Mary Gay Scanlon, I've got to repeat this, had an amendment, Mr. Speaker, to protect infants, children, babies against the unconstitutional and un-American Trump executive order to end birthright citizenship. Republicans voted that down. Representative Pramila Jayapal had an amendment to prevent ICE from deporting U.S. citizens. United States citizens, Mr. Speaker, that are being deported by the Trump administration. I documented some of that earlier today. We're happy to provide more examples.
More examples
In
of
fact,
lying.
I'm happy to debate.
This dude is lying.
My colleague, Speaker Mike Johnson, on any of these issues.
This dude is lying through his teeth. What's going on, everybody? I know y'all want to continue to listen to Hakeem Joffrey's lie on the House floor. I know you do. But I have to break in just a little bit here. We're going to open up the phone lines. It's Thursday, July the 3rd. I more than likely will be out tomorrow just because it's the 4th, okay? 4th of July. So if you want to give me a call, today is the day for you to give me a call. Now, if you want to call me and talk about Hakeem Joffrey and give me your opinion about him, I would love to hear from you. Especially if you think Hakeem Joffrey's saying everything valid. If you like what he's saying, if you're in agreement with what he is saying, I really want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Do you think Hakeem Joffrey's is on point? Now, I've been listening to him pretty much all morning, for the most part. I did go to the gym and work out a little bit, and I did not listen to him there because I want to have a good workout. But he's been out there for hours now. Hours. I think maybe a total 6 hours now since he started this. You know, dude has on a diaper. I mean, he has to have on a diaper. They keep feeding him water, and every time they feed him water, he probably just going in his diaper some more. Someone said bad audio coming and going. Filter Dog said my audio is bad. Really? The audio should be good. Is it good on your end, Shannon?
I'm listening to it. It sounds fine to me. Maybe it's on their end.
I don't know. So hopefully, saying it's going in and out. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I just listened to it on Rumble and YouTube and Facebook, and it's fine on our end. So
okay,
maybe refresh the screen. Maybe
I don't know. One person said they're watching on peeled.net, said it's good for them there, and people say Bill said it's good now. So apparently it was having some issues there for a second. So it wasn't just Filter Dog. It got some static, then it went away. Interesting. And
maybe it's your mic, they're saying
the sound's not good.
Let me check it again.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Get it static every now and then. Let's go back to him, and I'm gonna go check some of the stuff out. Bring him back up, Shannon, and then I'm gonna go check out some stuff really quick.
In other words, just ignored them. Dismissed their importance. Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Gottheimer offered an amendment that adds a new requirement that the Secretary of HHS certify in writing that the reduction and rescissions made by this act will not affect cancer survivors currently on Medicaid or Medicare. Mr. Speaker, as you know, Republicans dismissed that amendment. Representative Houlihan and Representative Ramirez offered an amendment, Mr. Speaker, that exempts individuals with disabilities from having to prove eligibility for Medicaid every 6 months. That's a burdensome red tape requirement designed to throw people off of Medicaid who are eligible. That amendment was dismissed, Mr. Speaker, as you know, by House Republicans. Representative Sarah McBride the distinguished gentle lady from the great state of Delaware.
Okay.
The distinguished gentle lady from the great state of Delaware.
Hopefully, maybe it just worked itself out. I don't know. Maybe it just worked itself out. So
she offered an amendment that requires the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office.
I went and listened to it, and everything seems fine. Everything seems fine on my end. I'm just listening to it. So, but thank you for letting me know that you were hearing some stuff. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah,
see, that goes to show that I do look at the chats. I do look and see what you're saying in the chat. So,
Mark C said, "Oh, please stop lying to Hakeem Jeffries." Literally, Mark, he has been lying for 6 hours.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, we kind of been listening in and out. I mean, I can't even stand it, Will. I was listening, and I was like, you know what? They said they were going to do this. I think it was, what's his name? Maxwell Frost said yesterday that they were going to do everything they could to hold up this vote today. But, you know, I think that there was 4 Republicans that were holding out that didn't vote, I believe, or said no. And so they're trying to convince them. And so literally, you know what Hakeem Jeffries is doing? He's doing a couple things. One, he's giving them time to convince the other 4 to vote for it. So thank you, Jeffries, for that. And then 2, he's probably convincing those other 4 to go ahead and vote with the Republicans just because they don't want to hear this idiot anymore.
It's almost like, I mean, I would say go as far as say that he is losing votes by doing this, you know, and they're trying to prolong it. You and I were talking before we came on here that President Trump is looking to sign this bill tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So he's wanting to sign this bill tomorrow at 9 a.m. So maybe Hakeem Jeffries is going to do like Cory Booker did and just stay out there for 24 hours and keep talking and keep talking. And there's a lot of people, a lot of congressmen, men and women that are there that's ready to go to the airport and fly home for the holidays, for the 4th of July. Well, you know, of course, the Demmoncrats, they don't care about the 4th of July. To my understanding, there's supposed to be a protest tomorrow. The Democrats are supposed to be protesting the 4th of July tomorrow. So this goes right along with that. It's kind of fitting that if they were to protest tomorrow. So I can see them probably trying to do this and push the protest on as long as possible. I can see them doing that. All right, look, the phone line is open, 319-527-3453. Give me a call. Tell me, what do you think about all of this? Do you think Hakeem Jeffries, I really want to hear from you again, if you think Hakeem Jeffries is doing a fantastic job. I really want to hear from you. And did y'all see where Hakeem Jeffries was on there basically saying that they want to unmask the ICE agents? And there's only one reason why they want to unmask ICE agents, because they want to be able to dox them. They want to be able to apply pressure to them so they can find out where their children go to school and where their spouses go to work so they can apply pressure to them to try to do what they can to harm them. That's the only reason why they want to know who they are. Now, with that said, I think that if the Democrats ever get, and I bring it up this all the time because I look how they're portraying everything that's happening right now. They're saying that President Trump is just randomly picking American citizens up off the streets of America and deporting them, which he's not doing that. It's not happening. They're lying. And the only reason why I believe that they're lying by saying this is because if they ever get back into power, if they ever control all three branches of the federal government, if they control all three of them, they ever get to that point again, they are going to actually pick up American citizens and put them in these FEMA camps because they've already called for it once before. You know, they were saying that American citizens that are Trump supporters should be put in FEMA camps or in these camps until they can be reprogrammed. And then once they're reprogrammed, then we can consider letting them back out into society. Now, they've said it multiple times. There's videos of the Democrats saying this. And I believe that if they ever get to this point where President Trump and the Republicans currently have, they're going to put in bills and they're just going to start locking up, arresting, and putting American citizens in these camps. And they're going to say, President Trump did it and you didn't have a problem with it. The thing is, President Trump is not doing it. He's not deporting American citizens. There has not been a single American citizen deported. Not a single one. And they know this, but they go on a play of words. And of course, they bring up the little girl that was that left with their parents because their parents were deported. The parents wanted the little girl to come with them, so they refused to leave the little girl here in America, so they took her with them. But they conveniently leave that detail out. They don't say anything about it. They just want the American people to believe that they're getting deported by President Trump, and it's not true. So I do have a few things I want to share with you from earlier with Hakeem Joffrey. Just a couple clips. Listen to this first one, because he's lying through his teeth. That's all that they're doing. They're lying. He's lying. And he's trying to be real convincing. And all he's doing is repeating the same thing over and over. And he'll just change the story just a little bit because he's lying. So it doesn't even matter. People, they don't care that he's lying because he's just changing the lie. And then he come back and tell the same story and they'll add to it, lying more about it.
I feel the obligation, Mr. Speaker, to stand on this House floor and take my sweet time to tell the stories of the American people. And that's exactly what I intend to do. Take my sweet time on behalf of the American people, on behalf of their health care, on behalf of their Medicaid, on behalf of their nutritional assistance, on behalf of veterans, on behalf of farmers, on behalf of children, on behalf of seniors, on behalf of people with disabilities, on behalf of small businesses, on behalf of every single American. I'm on this House floor after 6 a.m. and I'm planning to take my sweet time. I feel the obligation.
He planned on taking his sweet time and talk about absolutely nothing. Nothing. The Democrats, there's again, I asked this question yesterday, and I've been asking it before yesterday, and I've asked it last month, last year. I've been asking the same question over and over and over again. Name one thing that the Democrat Party has done that the American people as a whole has benefited from. Not a certain group of people, not a certain race, but the entire country. Is there one thing that the Democrats have done, and it's been absolutely nothing? And he's on the floor for hours basically talking about nothing. He went down his family tree, talked about his dad, talked about his mom, talked about his brother. All this that has nothing to do with this bill.
His family tree. That's
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the bill. He's just out there rambling his mouth. And you know that diaper that he has on is really sour right now.
Oh, stop.
I'm just saying, you know it is. You know it is.
You know what? It's funny because we were talking before the show, and I was like, how long is he going to do this? Is he trying to pull the Cory Booker? Because, Cory Booker twice now has tried to stage this triathlon moment of standing behind the podium. He did it on the Senate floor. What was it, like 22 or 23 hours or something like that, some ridiculous number. And then, of course, also he did it on the front steps of the Capitol. He had a whole bunch of people join him. In fact, Hakeem Jeffries joined him for that. But it literally, Cory Booker was not really caught a lot of attention. Nobody really cared, because pretty much they say all the Democrat talking points. They bash Trump. Literally, he's not offering any other solution. He's not saying this is what we can do. He said the Democrats did pass the reduction of inflation bill, which literally, if you look at the job numbers over the past couple of years, job numbers were really, they said, in the negative. And he's touting that as a great accomplishment of the Biden administration, which now is known largely for the auto pin, pardons, an old man that was perhaps not running the White House. I mean, that's what the Democrats are known for at this point. This is not going to help them. This is not adding anything to it. Trump said they scheduled for this bill to be signed tomorrow in the White House at 9 a.m. The Democrats know this. I believe that they're going to try to obstruct that time. I don't know if Hakeem's going to try to go for 24 hours or what, but...
Well, the interesting thing that I found out is that only Hakeem can do this. The other Democrats can't. Only he can do this because he's the leader. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I know that Frost said yesterday that they had like 400 amendments that they were going to try to flood the floor with, and every time a different Democrat introduced an amendment, they got 5 minutes on the floor. So that's, I guess, to your point.
I'm talking about for this particular bill, for them to go and do the vote. And I didn't know this, but because he's the minority leader right now, and he's the leader of the Demmoncrat Party, that he can go in there and take as much time as he wants to.
Okay, well.
1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 24 hours even. He can take his sweet time, but people are ready to go home. People are sick and tired. All he's doing is holding up the inevitable. It's going to happen. They're going to do it. And this is what he's trying to convince them by saying the same thing over and over. You know what? It's like repeating the same thing over and over and over again, hoping that they're going to get different results than the inevitable. That's what he's hoping for. But it's going to happen. They don't care about this country. They really don't. So if you have your thoughts about this, look, we're only on here for 1 hour. The phone line is open, 319-527-3453. If you want to give me a call, tell me your viewpoint about this. I'd like to hear from you. Do you think that the Demmoncrats are going to get what they want? Or do you think that maybe the bill won't pass? Maybe they will get 4, because they say all they need is 4 rhinocrats to join them in going against this bill, and then the bill will fail. They just need 4. They were out there on the floor, and I think I have a video on it showing it, or I have one from earlier. But they're out there saying all we need is 4. All we need is 4. And the bill will fail because they're going to get every last Demmoncrat. Well, maybe Fetterman, though. No, Fetterman's in the Senate, though, isn't he? So they have in the House, they'll have every single Demmoncrat, every single one of them will vote against this bill. So right now, he's out on the floor trying to convince the rhinocrats to join them. Listen to this one here this was on Fox News Report, Fox Business, where they're talking about them trying to hold up this bill and what they don't relate to the people about the bill.
What do you make of Hakeem Jeffries at the podium for more than an hour trying to discredit this bill right now?
Well, Maria, I'm not going to take firefighting advice from an arsonist. The Democrats had the majorities. They blew out the budget. They had the tons of wasteful spending, and we inherited a mess. And under President Trump's leadership, along with Speaker Johnson, Leader Thune, we are going to get the economy humming again via the private sector. This is a Main Street Working America bill. It is going to address the affordability crisis. We are going to increase working people's wages. And, you know, the Democratic Party at present doesn't stand for anything. They're just against everything. And you know, let's see where the economy is this time next year.
Yeah.
I think this bill, over the next year, we are going to see growth like we have not seen. And importantly, it is going to be non-inflationary growth, which is something the Democrats couldn't do.
Yep, something they couldn't do. And they're not standing on anything. There's absolutely nothing that the Democrats can stand on. Hakeem Jeffries goes out onto the floor and he's trying to convince the American people that they're for veterans. Have Democrats ever been for veterans? I don't ever recall them being for veterans. I remember at one point they were saying that veterans in the United States of America should be considered a high threat to America. They were saying this about vets, but now all of a sudden they're trying to act like they're for veterans. And then they're out there saying that, oh, they're trying to prevent Republicans from ending medical care, health care for millions of Americans. What they conveniently leave out, just like everything else, that these millions of so-called Americans are not even Americans that they're fighting for, or the Americans that are on the government subsidies have abused the system. They conveniently leave that detail out all the time. I look at them and I say, okay, when they say stuff, what are they leaving out? Every time I turn on, you know, I go on the internet, I don't watch television. I don't even have cable service. But every time I see a clip or something like Hakeem Jeffries, I'm always asking the question, what details are they leaving out? They do it all the time. It's the same thing when I went out talking to these radical liberals at the No Kings event that they had. And they kept bringing up that President Trump is deporting children, American citizens, which again, they left out the key detail that it was the parents that got deported and the parents want to take the children with them. But they leave that out. And you know what they said? That's not important. That part is not important, that the parents want to take the child with them. They just want to push this narrative that President Trump is deporting children, and it's not even true at all. Filter Dog, thank you so much for the gold pills. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I really do. Thank you so much. He said, this is all about trying to demoralize the people. It is. It really is. And you know what they want people to feel bad for not supporting the Democrats. Because see, the Democrats, they'll say that they're for veterans, that they're for the American people, that they're for children, but their actions completely say otherwise. Now, they come out there and say the talking points, just like every 2 to 4 years, they go and they tickle the ears of the American people. We're going to do this for you. We're going to fight for you. We're standing up for you. Rah, rah, rah. And then after stupid people vote for them, they don't hear nothing from them unless a case come up to where they want to keep it in place. And you know what? One of the main reasons why I believe that they're fighting so hard against this bill, because just like Abraham Lincoln got rid of the Demmoncrat slaves back in the day, President Trump, another Republican president, is doing the same thing. And if President Trump get this bill through, he signs it, immediately these Democrats know that they're going to lose seats. See, because they bring the bodies into the country for the census report. I've said this so many times. Many other people are really starting to talk about it. They bring them in, they count the bodies for the census report. So for all of the bodies that they have, and not all of them, according to the Democrats, need to be warned, long as they can count bodies, they can add seats. They can add seats. That's what it's all about. Why do you think they were okay with sending more of the illegals to Chicago, more illegals to New York, to California? They sent them to these blue states so they can create more seats in Congress. They're conniving. See, without their base, these people that are in the country illegally, without them, the Demmoncrats' numbers will dwindle. They will go away. And they know it. So they're trying to prevent that from happening. They don't want it to happen. President Trump removing the slave element that the Democrats depend on, just like Abraham Lincoln removed the slave element that the Democrats depended on. History repeating itself. Now, I mentioned to you earlier that Hakeem Joffrey's on the floor. He's talking about ICE. He's saying that ICE the mask should be removed. Why? Of course, they leave out the key detail. The reason why they want ICE to be identified is so they can dox them, so they can find out who their family are, where they work, where they go to school, where they play, so they can harass them in hopes that they can get ICE, the members in ICE, to stop doing their jobs. Listen to him. It's a short clip.
Therefore, we cannot support a final bill that threatens access to coverage or jeopardizes the stability of our hospitals and providers. Mr. Speaker, 16 members of the House Republican...
Oh, I'm sorry. This is not the one. I apologize. This is the one where he's asking, no, bring it back. This is the one where, I apologize. It's so many clips, so much. This is the one where he's asking Rhinocrats to join them. This is the only time that they will ever ask Rhinocrats to join them, or Republicans, period, to stop America from being successful. And of course, he's asking them to join him because it's like, oh, be compassionate. We're compassionate. Listen how he does this.
Conference, who just a few days ago made clear on the record that they will not support devastating cuts to Medicaid. 16 members. All we need, Mr. Speaker, are 4 Republicans from this group to join us, and we can stop these devastating cuts to Medicaid. Join us. Join us. Join us. We welcome you with open arms into the warm embrace of members of Congress who are here to protect the health care of the American people. Just 4 y'all, we welcome you with open arms into the warm embrace.
The warm embrace.
Of Congress determined to protect the health care of the American people.
The warm embrace to protect the health care of the American people. Shannon, my producer, said he sounds like Barack Hussein Obama. I can see that. You know, there's a lot of black people when they go out there and they start talking a certain way, like he's talking. Barack Hussein Obama did it. Jesse Jackson did it. Al Sharpton, he does it. You know, they talk that way, thinking like they're being meaningful about what they're saying. Like, we're strong, we're for the people. And they're not. Here's the one where I was talking about where he's wanting to demask, if you want to say it that way, ICE. And again, they want to know who the ICE members are so they can harass them. And the only reason why we know that this is the reason why, because they've already done it. There's already been reports. Allegedly, you know, you have to say that part, but there's already been reports for them already finding out who these ICE members are. They have websites. They've put up websites so they can dox ICE members, and they have their pictures all on there. There's what is it? I forget there was one. I just saw it the other day, and they had maybe 50 different ICE members on there, and showing all their information. An interesting thing is I can get to it on a mobile device, but I couldn't get to it on a computer. And this website that they have up to dox ICE members has been online since 2018, to my understanding. But now they're just really pushing it hard, and they're adding numbers to it, meaning they're adding federal officials. And I'm sitting there thinking, how is this even lawful? How is it lawful? They're actually telling people about these ICE members, who they are, so they can go harass them. Well, listen to Hakeem Joffrey's talk about the mask that they're wearing. And again, he conveniently leaves out the detail on why they're wearing masks in the first place.
Seems to me that every other law enforcement professional in the United States of America has to disclose their identity in a way that is identifiable. These masks need to come down. They need to come down. They need to come down. These agents should just be held to the same set of standards as every other law enforcement officer in the United States of America.
Oh, the same law enforcement officers in America that they want to defund. The same ones that they want to remove. You got a communist trying to be mayor in New York, wanting to get rid of the police department altogether so they can bring in their own Sharia law. See, a lot of people don't even know that. And these stupid liberals, I hate to say it that way, but they are. They're jumping right on board with it. And the reason why they're jumping on board with it in New York is because they hate Trump more. Listen to Jayapal. Jayapal was even talking about ICE because they were asking her on the Communist News Network about her hateful statements about ICE. See, they have to remove this element that's removing their base. This is what it's really about. And a lot of people still can't make the connection. President Trump is removing the slave element that the Democrats want in this country, just like Abraham Lincoln did.
Also, you posted on social media that, quote, ICE is acting like a terrorist force, and the White House told CNN that your, quote, disgusting comments warrant an immediate apology. They called ICE officers heroic. They're saying they're, quote, simply doing their jobs and enforcing immigration law with the utmost professionalism, and that dangerous smears by, this is their words, deranged leftists like Jayapal radicalize their supporters to violently attack and obstruct federal law enforcement because of comments like Jayapal's. Assaults against ICE agents have increased 500% this year, and that number will go even higher if Jayapal doesn't stop with her smears. What is your reaction to that?
What is deranged and cruel and outrageous is that literally we are seeing ICE agents, I assume they're ICE agents, they say they are, they don't have any identification, they're wearing masks, they're in plain clothes, they are coming and kidnapping and disappearing people on the streets of the United States.
Let me ask y'all a question. Let's say you and I, let's say 10 of us, we put on tactical gear and we just start riding around any city. You pick the city. I don't care. Let's just say Compton, LA, New York. It don't matter. Let's say you and I and 10 of us, 15 of us, 20 of us, we start riding around and we get black vehicles and we just start randomly picking up people. What do you think would happen? I mean, just think about that really quick, because they keep saying that it's not even, we don't know that they're ICE members. Of course they do. If you and I, we just got 10 of us put on tactical gear and we just start rounding up people, we're kidnapping people at that point. They're going to arrest us because the law enforcement in the city has no idea that we're doing this. And then once it starts getting reported that you just have random people picking up people off the streets of America, they're going to send the cops out. They might even send SWAT out. Does that make sense? See, these stupid liberals, they're putting this nonsense out there saying, well, we don't know who they are. They could just be anybody. Are you kidding me? And then you have people that watch that crap and they go out there and they regurgitate the same thing. They regurgitate it saying, oh yeah, President Trump, his administration just randomly picking up American citizens and deporting them, when it's not even freaking true. And they know it's not true, but they don't care about the truth. All they care about is trying to make President Trump look bad, trying to get you and I not to support President Trump, not to love our country. These Demmoncrats do not care about America. Their whole objective is to cause division. Their whole objective is to get us at each other's throats. Their whole objective is to say America bad. That's all that they have. There's nothing new coming out of the Democrat Party. It's the same thing every single year. It's the same thing. People are sick and tired of it. They refuse to believe that people are waking up to the nonsense that they've been putting out there. They refuse to believe it. That's why you have people like Stephen A. Smith, even Bill Maher, Chris Cuomo of all people. They are coming out saying that the Democrat Party has completely gone bonkers. The Democrat Party, with inside of the Democrat Party, they're fighting amongst each other because some of them want to get rid of the old heads in the Democrat Party. And then some of them want to go the way of socialism. And a lot of them are saying we can't do that because the American people won't go for it. That's the reason why they booted Bernie Sanders out in 2016. You remember that? I'll never forget it. I was in California, and I was looking forward to see the results that was going to happen between Hillary Rodham Clinton and Bernie Sanders, because in California, they all wanted Bernie Sanders. I mean, there was no Hillary Rodham Clinton signs anywhere in California. They all wanted Bernie Sanders. And that morning I woke up, it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I rode the train and got on the train like 5:30, and they already called it. Not a single person went to anything to turn in their ballot. None of it. They didn't, no counting to my understanding. And they went ahead and called it for Hillary Rodham Clinton. Bernie Sanders was piping mad, but Bernie Sanders is a coward. He caved into it because they knew, and the reason why they did it, because they knew that there were all these Bernie bros. Remember, this is part of the reason why Joe Rogan started to wake up, because all the Bernie bros, he was a Bernie bro, and all these people supporting Bernie Sanders, they all got angry, but they knew at the end of the day that they hated Trump more. So they did it anyways, because they hated Trump more, and they was like, well, you know, they'll get over it, because they hate Trump more. Listen to Scott Jennings talk about ICE as well.
I don't accept the projections on this, number one. Number two, it is not unpopular. It is not unpopular to invest in ICE. It is not unpopular to give this agency what it needs to deport violent criminals. It is not unpopular to make sure illegal aliens are not getting welfare. It is not unpopular to take able-bodied Americans who are not doing anything, who are choosing not to work. It's not unpopular to say, we're not paying for your welfare when we're asking everybody else to get up and go to work. These are popular provisions, as is no tax on tips, as is keeping the tax rates low. You keep talking about the popularity of the bill. Individual provisions are exactly how Trump won the national popular vote. It will work if they run the play.
But it's currently not working, and that's why you have 4 no votes currently happening, because
you don't know why they're voting no. You don't know what their motivations are, and they may flip.
They're voting no because they don't agree with the bill. They're voting no because
they may have individual questions. But the vast majority of the Republicans know this is the play the president has called.
They have had plenty of time to convince and to get their caucus in order.
Not that
to
much.
Vote
it
for
just
the
came
bill.
over from the Senate the other day.
And they.
So, and when that was up, this was last night, and they had 4 that say nay so far at that time, but it has passed since then. That section of it. And there was 0 Democrats voting yes for it. 0. Every last Demmoncrat voted against it. You know what else it made me? You know what it just made me think about, Shannon? When it was on the floor for Black people to be able to vote, every last Democrat, just like this bill, voted against Black people from being able to vote. Same thing when it came to women. Every single Democrat voted against it. Every single one of them. Say it again.
Why was that?
Because they didn't want Black people voting.
Well, eventually, they became the ones that, well, I'm talking about the civil rights. During the civil rights, the Democrats didn't vote for it because Republicans were in power and they didn't want them to get the credit. So they kept filibustering it until they became in power, and then they voted the civil rights in and said, oh, we did it.
Yeah. Yeah, we did it. Just like this bill that they're trying to fight to prevent America from growing. President Trump, the Republicans call it the Big Beautiful Bill. What did Chuck Schumer name it? What did he call it? Well, Hakeem Joffrey's right now on the floor saying that the Big Ugly Bill.
Right.
That's what he's saying. But so he's not even complying to what Chuck Schumer renamed it in the Senate to.
Right, because they renamed it to the Act.
To the Act.
Yeah.
And so they renamed it to the Act. So what's going to end up happening is that when the bill passes, years and years from now, when everything is really successful, they're going to push it out there saying that, oh, it was the Democrats that came up with the Act that put America back on track. Simply because of the name change, because it's going to be down in the books as the Act, right? And I guess they agreed to it in the Senate. Okay, we want the name change on this. Okay, we'll agree to that. So change it to Act, but Hakeem Joffrey is saying that the Big Ugly Bill, which he's calling America ugly. He's calling every single person in this country that wants to take care of their children, want to have safety and security in this country. He's calling the United States of America ugly. Hakeem Joffrey is. And he's still on the floor. He's still on the floor, running his mouth, not doing anything beneficial. Let's go back to him just really quick, Shannon. Let's just go to him really quick.
Floor?
Yeah, let's go back to the floor really quick. And then I want to share something else with you that the Communist News Network just said, which is really good. Let's go listen in.
Because it will result in the largest cut to Medicare, sets in motion the largest cut to Medicare, more than $500 billion by some estimations.
I don't know if you noticed, but they just switched out the people sitting behind Hakeem.
The American people understandably frustrated, not for years, but for decades, that far too many have dealt with a situation where the system is not building an economy that works for hardworking American taxpayers, for everyday Americans, for working class Americans, for everyone who aspires to be part of the middle class. It's our sincere hope that we can get to a place one day, perhaps in a bipartisan way, not connected to this extreme and reckless, dangerous, partisan bill, that is one big, ugly bill that will hurt everyday Americans in order to reward billionaires, that we actually can get to the work of lifting up everyday Americans, because the deck has been stacked against you for far too long. And that's not the America that the American people deserve.
Okay, you stop him really quick.
And part of the challenge...
Shut him up. Get him off the screen. 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 Let me show you what President Trump has done for America. And you had the Communist News Network even talking about this, which according Hakeem Jeffries is not acknowledging it.
You expected some of this, but this is better than expected?
Yeah, Sarah, it is. Look, this jobs market is like the Energizer Bunny. Every single time we expect it to run out of steam, it just keeps going and going. So these new numbers show that the U.S. economy added 147,000 jobs in June. That was well ahead of the expectation of about 118,000, well ahead of some whispers that we heard on Wall Street of a sub 100,000 number. So this is indeed beating expectations. We were also expecting a slowdown. We did not get that. This is basically in line with May, which was revised higher. It's also good news. The unemployment rate was expected to go up. It didn't. It went down to 4.1%. That is a very healthy number. This is still relatively historically low. And again, it's below the 4.3% that we had expected.
So where's Hakeem Jeffries getting his information from? The Communist News Network and Hakeem Jeffries, they're not on the same page. These job numbers coming out, really good for America. Hakeem Jeffries spent like an hour just talking about tariffs earlier. Maybe it's 45 minutes. I don't know. He was talking a long time. These tariffs are hurting the small business. The tariffs are doing this. The tariffs are doing that. Really? Because President Trump brought in how many billions of dollars because of the tariffs? And it's actually the American people that are benefiting from all of it because of the tariffs. Jobs are coming back to America. This is part of the reason why the job numbers are looking good. But the Demmoncrats want to ignore all of that. Why do they hate the country so much? What is it about the United States of America that they hate so much? Is it because we are a Christian nation? Maybe that's what it is. Is that what it is? I would say that's probably it. We're a Christian nation. See, and then you have a lot of Demmoncrats go, well, Will Johnson, if you're actually a Christian, that you want to take, you will welcome the poor. You will welcome the needy. The poor and the needy still need to follow the law. Right? Just because you're poor, like Will Johnson, just because you're poor doesn't mean I can break the law and use the fact that I'm poor as an excuse of me breaking the law. It doesn't work that way. But see, that's what they do. Every last Demmoncrat, I put a comment on my Facebook page, my Will Johnson Facebook page, the one they hit me hard on. I put a comment on there asking, do you have friends that are, do you know someone who's a Demmoncrat? With everything that's going on, do you know someone that's a Demmoncrat? And they call themselves a Christian because you can't be a Demmoncrat and a Christian. You can't, because the Demmoncrats support everything that is wicked under the sun. I mean, everything. Is there anything that they don't support that's evil under the sun? Name one thing that they don't support. Now, of course, you have some Demmoncrats within inside of the Demmoncrat Party. They'll go, well, I don't support that. I don't support this. I don't support that. But they all go vote for it. Every last one of them vote for it because the Demmoncrat Party as a whole, as I mentioned so many times before, they're for everything evil and wicked under the sun. Everything. Absolutely everything. Let me go to a quick break. I want to share something with you. For something that's possibly could happen in the future. Look, everyone get ready. Here's something, because people have always asked me, Will, what do we do? People used to ask me all the time. But now they don't ask because I show you what I do. Look at this. We'll be right back.
Life can be pretty unpredictable, filled with good days and not so good days. And sometimes, the only difference between the two is your level of preparedness. The Jace case lets you be better prepared for whatever comes your way. It contains antibiotics and other prescription medications so that you aren't caught unprepared. With a Jace case, you are able to get your prescription medication before the unpredictable happens, allowing you to turn those not so good days into great ones. Go to Jace.com now and get your own Jace case.
So one more thing. Oh, let me show it real quick before we play that. I keep it right here. Before we play that, can we show this real quick? Is that okay? I just want to show that I have the actual case here. Can we show this before we play that? Yeah. So I have the actual case here, or well, one of them. This is the one that I selected. You can call and you can tell them, you can talk to an actual pharmacist and a doctor, physician even, and you can discuss what you need or what you think you would need. Going on camping trips, going on a road trip, just for emergency purposes. You know, a lot of people, and I still believe this way, I have one myself, to keep a emergency kit in your vehicle, you know, like a Band-Aid, you know, maybe some triple bionic ointment or some peroxide, what have you. Keep them in your vehicle because you never know. With everything that's happening in the world and with the Demmoncrats, and I believe the Demmoncrats still have these sleeper cells just sitting on the sideline waiting to activate them. I still believe that they have them. Look, and if they do, you're going to want to have one of these. So go to jace.com, jace.com, use promo code WILL. Use promo code WILL at jace.com. And like I said, when you call them, they will customize it to you, for you, because everybody's different. Everyone has different needs. So go to jace.com, jace.com today. Check it out. Check it out. All right, let me share one more thing with you. And you can bring it up now. This is Byron Donalds having a discussion about Joe Biden and what they did to Joe Biden. Back in 2019, I noticed something was going on with Joe. Not a physician, not a doctor, but something was wrong during that time with Joe. And I'm like, something's out of the ordinary here. Something's not right with him. And I was saying that what they were doing to Joe Biden was elderly abuse. 100% elderly abuse.
Listen to what Axios reporter Alex Thompson had to say about the inner circle controlling Biden at the end of his term. Watch this.
The people that were in charge were Mike Donilon, Steve Ricchetti, Bruce Reed, Anthony Bernal, the First Lady's chief of staff, the First Lady, and Annie Tomasini. Those were the people that saw him the most and that had the most control over what he was doing and his day-to-day.
Well, clearly, Congressman, he is naming names. And we have the Washington Post columnist, Sally Quinn, accusing former First Lady of elder abuse. What do you say to that, Congressman? Elder abuse.
It is elder abuse. It is. There's no doubt about that. And all of these officials that were in the Biden White House, as far as I'm concerned, they need to come in front of the Oversight Committee because questions need to be answered. Last thing I will say on this is, depending on when the president truly was not in control of his mental faculties, a lot of the stuff that he did as president, in my view, should be invalidated. And the reason why is because you can't use an auto pen to run the country. It has to be from the mental capabilities and the physical capabilities of the person elected to be commander-in-chief. And so if Joe Biden could not execute the duties of his office, then why are we living under a lot of the decisions that was made by the Biden White House? So there's a lot of investigations that need to occur on this matter. This is a major scandal, in my view, the biggest one in presidential history. We can now put Watergate to bed because the auto pen is now in front of us.
Yep. You can put Watergate to bed. One of the biggest, if not the biggest scandal that the public knows about. Let me put it that way. The biggest scandal in American history. The auto pen. Controlling everything. All right, everybody, we are at the end. Hakeem Jeffries is still going, so I will be live again 1 hour from now on my other show that I do called Culture Wars. If you're interested in seeing that, you need to come on over. And hey, let me say this really quick. Let me say thank you to Ann. Thank you so much for the Facebook stars, Ann. And also thank you for the beautiful hat. Thank you so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really do. She sent me a white one too that I have here in my studio. It's out of reach right now. But she sent me this one too. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you so much for the stars and the hat. UniteAmericaFirst.com/donate. Please go there, support me, monthly subscribe, or if you just want to do one time, say, okay, I like this guy. I give him something this one time. Right there, all the different options that you're accustomed to. or my physical address, which you can see right there. My physical address right here in Texas. And that's how Ann sent me this beautiful hat. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Trump 2028. Love it. I love it. And Trump is your president again, which you can get this on my website as well. Trump is your president again. You see it right there? Again. So this is on my website, uniteamericafirst.com. God bless everybody.